welcome. I'm Dr. Bill, and this is my podcast where spirit meets science. Our next episode or topic today is about choosing the path of your authentic self, and that will include some of the key themes in that are spiritual evolution, making decisions from a place of love, and choosing the way. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and you can visit my website at williamdavidclark.com. You can see the previous episodes there on my YouTube channel. All the social media links are there, and it does stream on Spotify and other platforms as well. So please visit the website for more information. But again, thank you for joining me today. It's a beautiful day, Sunday morning. It's blue skies and sunny outside my window here I'm looking at. Palm trees and all that, so I must be somewhere tropical. I hope you're in a great place. But again, this is an important topic, I think, as we grow on our spiritual path. We're constantly faced with choices in terms of choosing a path. We'd like to think that it would be simple, and our path would just be laid out for us perfectly, and there wouldn't be any decisions to make and unknown decisions in terms of following the right way. So this will help provide some guidance, I think, with that, and understanding what is truly your authentic self. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's take a few moments to do a quick meditation here. So I'd like you to settle into wherever you're sitting, into a comfortable position, and we will get started with that. So let's take in 3 deep breaths through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. As we're slowly breathing in and out, we're relaxing in our position, getting comfortable. Feeling the energy of that breath as it moves through us. Release all thoughts that travel to your mind. See them as floating clouds drifting away. Pay them no attention. Breathe in, breathe out. Now I want you to imagine that you're somewhere in the forest or on a trail. So maybe someplace you've been before. You're taking in all of nature. You can feel the breeze, hear the rustle of the leaves in the trees. It's a beautiful sunny day. You hear the birds calling to wake up the morning sun. And as you're just carefully walking down the trail, you find yourself at a crossroads. Not knowing which path to take. So you take a moment to close your eyes and breathe in the energy of the space. guidance that says that you need to go a certain way. Don't question it. Though you may not know the way, Spirit is always guiding. Listen to that still, small voice within. Breathe in, breathe out. Feel the energy in that space flowing through you. It resonates with a high vibrational energy of knowing that this is the way you're meant to go. This is the journey that you're meant to take. It's exciting because you don't know what lies ahead, but you know you're being guided by Spirit. Take the time as you walk down this new path to notice everything along the way. The trees, the flowers, the birds, the dirt or stones beneath your feet, the grass gently blowing in the breeze, the view ahead of where you're being guided to. Something on the horizon is waiting for you. Breathe in, breathe out. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. Feeling the space that you're walking through. For this is the journey and the metaphor for your life of the choices you make. Embrace them. Feel them within your very soul. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. You are filled with peace and love and connection with your authentic self and with the energy of all that is flowing in you and as you. Your body tingles from the energy resonating your skin as goosebumps because you know this is where you're supposed to be. This is connecting with your authentic self. This is feeling the energy of spiritual guidance. And as you move down this new path, this new trail, you follow those spiritual breadcrumbs that are laid before you. Insights, experiences, thoughts that present themselves along the way. Take them in, embrace them. Feel how they resonate with you as you move down your path. This is the way. Breathe in and breathe out. present here. I hope you felt that. That was wonderful. Let's talk about the concept of authenticity. And we'll talk more about this metaphor of taking a path. And we talked about this last time of taking a path, or taking the inspired action. But we're going to dig deeper into this concept of authenticity and your authentic self to align with that. How often in our lives are we at the crossroads where we must actively choose a path to go forward? Think about this for a moment. The answer is simply all the time. We're constantly in the process of evolving in an ever-expanding way to fulfill the destiny of our oversoul, our authentic self. We are here to evolve and serve others through all the gifts and talents we've been blessed with. And no matter the situation, no matter the challenge, no matter the obstacle, there are only two ways to go. We can choose a path that is based on the way, where we're moving through it with a vigor embodied with the high vibrational divine qualities of love, of joy, of beauty, of compassion, forgiveness, and peace. Or we can choose the path based on low vibrational energies of fear and doubt and worry and blame and judgment. Either way, we must choose a path. We're always going to come to a crossroads. We are active participants in the unfoldment of the experience of our lives. So, aligning with this authentic self, you may come up against, a fundamental question, I would say. I mean, did you ever ask yourself, why am I here? I mean, did you really stop and think for a moment? Stop your car, stop running through your life, sit down for a moment in a meditation and just say, why am I here? What's my purpose? Is it just this? To go to a job, raise a family, travel, whatever it is this all there is? And if you're watching this, then you've already asked yourself that question. No, there's something more to it than that. Because you're connecting with that authentic self within you, and it resonates at a certain energy and alignment. And as we've talked about before, as you develop your spiritual practice, and it is a practice, it's something you need to do on a regular basis, hopefully daily, in some way. And you're in that process of developing your self and aligning with that and listening to that still small voice. And as you do that every time, everything is energy that raises a vibrational energy, which brings you in alignment with your purpose and why are you here. And, every moment in our life, it presents a choice. It's a spiritual path either aligned with divine qualities or with fear-based energies. And it's true, we always have a choice. And so all the more reason and all the more importance of developing our spiritual practice to where we can get to a point in our journey where it becomes easier to know which way to go, and which is actually the way. So let's reflect on the crossroads of our lives for a moment. It goes without saying that if we are awake to the truth of who we are, then there's only one path, the way. And that's what I mean by developing the spiritual practice. You're aligning with your authentic self. Your authentic self is are these divine vibrational qualities that already reside within you. To go in this path, we must be willing to resurrect ourselves, to be vigilant in our spiritual practice, to shed off or let go of that which no longer serves our higher good, or that, for that matter, that the higher good of the collective consciousness. We're connected to everything. We're connected to everybody, even though we may not see it or think that. So I like the metaphor of hiking through. I love going out in nature, and if you're like me, it just is a beautiful experience. And while you're connecting with high vibrational energies of all the things that we're talking about. And I've been on many trails out in nature, in the forest, in the mountains. And a lot of times you have a map. So maybe you have a map of your life, of where you're going on. Let's say you're hiking on this trail, and then you come to a crossroads, and you happen to know that if you take this certain path to the left, let's say, that it's going to be shorter. It looks shorter on the map. It looks easier. And this is our ego talking and says, okay, let's take the shortcuts. Yeah, how many times have we in our lives taken the shortcuts only to find out that this was not in our best interest? And so what you don't know is what's going to be presented before you on these paths. And if we try to force it and say we take that shorter path or the shortcut and we go down that path, and suddenly we find that our way is blocked. And it was like, oh no, I have to turn around and go back. But many times in our lives we made a decision where we can't go back. And so we're stuck where we have to go through. And sometimes we have to do that. But this is what bogs us down and creates more strife and stress in our life of trying to do that. When merely if we had taken the time before we made that decision to ask our authentic self, which is the way, we would have felt that energy and whatever. And even though our conscious mind, our ego is saying, oh, we need to go this way. No, it doesn't resonate with you. You know it when you feel it because it'll resonate with you. And quite often, the longer way, maybe it's not the longer way sometimes, but it's the road less traveled. Why is it the road less traveled? Because this is the one that no one travels because everyone takes the shortcuts. So don't be afraid to take the road less traveled. That's exciting. You imagine all the things that are going to be presented to you on this way. You have no idea what's ahead. Now you have a goal of where you want to get to, an end point. But all the lessons and the things you need to learn, the things that guide you, happen along that journey. Okay, so this metaphor, hiking on a trail and feeling which way to go and not sure which way to go, this is where we need to rely on our authentic self to help guide us, our spirit, that still small voice within that will guide us in the right direction. Now, one of my challenges, and I've had many of these crossroads, as you have, I'm sure, but one was I had just coming to nearing the end of finishing my undergraduate work. If you remember, I shared in an early episode the story of how I ended up at UC Santa Cruz, University of California, Santa Cruz. And I did that and finished up my undergraduate work. And I was getting to the point of close to the graduation then. And I had to make a decision on what graduate school to go to. And so convention said, well, you shouldn't go to graduate school where you did your undergraduate work. Bollocks, don't listen to that. It's not important. But part of me was saying, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I applied to other graduate schools and other graduate programs. So the other one I applied to was at Scripps Institute of Oceanography, which is part of University of California in San Diego. Now, I had already done work with, as an undergrad, with a company down there who knew the professors at Scripps. And the thing about the Scripps program, again, I had declared my major as chemistry, so this was going to be getting my PhD in chemistry. But at Scripps, it was a really diverse program where you learn oceanography, you go at sea on a ship, and very diverse program. It wasn't just chemistry. But it was continuing in the research. I was focused on marine natural products chemistry, searching for new drug discovery, searching for new cancer drugs. So I went down and got introductions to some of the key professors there. And, I interviewed with this one gentleman, this one professor, and we're walking along the beach, and we're just talking about the program and that sort of thing, and interviewing on that. And how often have you actually had an interview on the beach? I think that's kind of pretty wild. But I took the initiative to go meet with the person and not just blindly sending my application in. But there was a part of me, after having that discussion with him, that his energy did not resonate with me at all. In fact, he was very biased, and I wasn't comfortable with some of the things he was saying. But yet I was still stuck in this thing that, okay, this is where I really want to go. And I did submit my application to go there. But my professor at UC Santa Cruz kept encouraging me, say, Bill, I think you need to go here. Just stay here. And that was the logical choice, and it was very logical if I was going to get accepted to the PhD program in either case. So I was like thinking and keeping my options open. I said, well, maybe I'll do this. But the reality is, sometimes when we come to these crossroads or decisions, if we take a step back, the decision gets made for us. And we turn it over to all that is, to that universal intelligence. And sometimes and this is making that connection inside with our authentic self and just letting go of that. So I did do that. I let go of this process of going that. And so I got accepted to UC Santa Cruz for the graduate program. Okay, great. But I hadn't heard back from Scripps yet. And when I checked in, turns out they were only going to accept 3 graduate students. Can you believe it? Only 3 people from applications all over the world, by the way. And I was told that I was the number 1 alternate. So I was number 4 in the list. And, I don't remember the exact details. I think the counselor told me somebody from Harvard, somebody from China, somebody from some other place, Ivy League school or something. It's like, I thought, wow, okay. Well, I didn't do my undergraduate in that. I didn't go to an Ivy League school like that. I thought, what are my chances, But I was the first alternate. I thought, and we got past the deadline, and none of them had accepted their offers. So I thought, for sure, I'm gonna get in. But the universe had other plans for me, and the reality is they all 3 accepted, and I didn't get in. And of course, I went on to, the rest is history, as they say. I went on to UC Santa Cruz. And by the way, if I had not done that, I wouldn't have probably made the journey through my professional career like it is today. It would have been a different path. But it was the right path. And of course, it led to this opening up of the spirit meets science in me on my spiritual journey as well. Because this is in the early 90s, And I was just beginning to explore all that. So everything is connected. So if you think about those moments in your life when you've been at a crossroads, or maybe you're facing that now, and you don't know which way to go or decision. So this is where it's really important to take a step back, take time to go within and meditate on that and find your right path to that. So the power of these divine qualities, okay, these high vibration energy. If you do this process, what a powerful way to think about the path we choose. The deeper spiritual meaning of this concept is that we must overcome the obstacles and challenge our lives to grow and evolve and to create something new. That something within us must die off for us to embody a higher level of consciousness as we move more and more into the way. We will constantly be moving towards this our whole lives until the day we take our last breath. Okay? So, reflect on that for a moment. These divine qualities of peace and love and compassion guide our authentic self and help us serve the greater good. Don't discount these high vibrational energies. They're really important. And it is always important to take the time to make major decisions. And sometimes you really do have to let go of it. And like we talked about before, taking the inspired action. When something, those spiritual breadcrumbs or that inspired action presents itself, sometimes it's subtle. We may not see it right away. So it's really important to keep our awareness receptive and open to these things as they present themselves. Okay? These are the divine qualities of our authentic self. This is your authentic self. This is the truly innate being of who you are. Now, let's talk about surrendering the ego and shedding what no longer serves. Okay? St. Augustine said, or I quote, "I will not rest until I rest in thee," end quote. For let's contemplate that for a moment, reflect on that. I will not rest until I rest in thee. Meaning that you are constantly moving through this journey, overcoming fear and doubt and judgment and control. Your ego wanting to control which way you go. And we have, just from growing up through our lives, we have these old patterns and beliefs and behaviors. Just like I had the belief that, you're supposed to go to you can't go to the same school you did your undergraduate work. You got to go somewhere different. I don't know where I heard that, but it was some belief that I took to heart and thought, this is the way it's supposed to be. Of course, I put that to the side as I was stepping back to make a decision, and the universe presented the right way. And there's certain behaviors that we've developed that we have to shed to develop new behaviors that will guide our spiritual growth. Universal law and conscious creation. This is what I know. That God, that universal intelligence exists in all things. It is ever present. And as we know this is true, God, or that universal intelligence, must therefore exist within us, within you. And yes, we are governed by this universal law that is always operating in response to us from whatever consciousness we are in. So consequently, we must be mindful of our thoughts, for this universal law can only respond to what we put out into the world through our thoughts, our words, our deeds. Let us continue to seek all those noble divine qualities in our life. Let us examine the law in all areas of our existence, so that we may further understand how to move on our path in this world. Let us look at what nature shows us every day as the full expression of God's existence in all things. It isn't, going back to the question, why are you here? What's my purpose? If you stop for a moment and just look at the trees, or you look at something else, you know there's something more. There's a constant reminder that for every flower that blossoms, for every tree that grows, for every sunrise and sunset that shines, for the gentle wind that blows, there is something beautiful and magnificent that we are all connected to. This is also a reminder that as we choose the way, or the higher side of our spiritual path, that this will reinforce our resolve to overcome whatever lies before us. So take the time to align with those divine qualities within you and create the positive experiences and outcomes. Be mindful of your thoughts. Your thoughts are not just words that rumble around in your mind. When you think a thought, synapses, nerve endings or whatever are firing off, and there's a chemical exchange, and it goes down to the level of energy. So as a scientist, there is a universal, I know there are universal laws. I've studied quantum mechanics and physics and string theory and all these different things in chemistry, and everything is energy, and everything that is governed is by some unseen force. Now when we drop a pen and it drops, we know that has to do with gravity, but you can't see the force behind that any more than you can see the force behind your thoughts of what you're creating in your life. So take that time to stop your thoughts when they start going down to those low vibrational energies of fear and doubt, and take a step back and say, no, do something to shift the energy. Listen to music, whatever. Go sit with a meditation, or take the time to do that. And ask the question of the universe and the universal law. Because that question is words, or it's energy. It's putting it out into that universe. And it responds. Think of the power behind that. Seriously, think of the power. Somebody is going to, the simplest thing about string theory is that if some particle is manipulated in this area of space, then it impacts something else somewhere else in the universe and space, and makes it do things without seeing any kind of connection. That's pretty powerful, and it is kind of what we're talking about. Someday some scientist somewhere is going to prove string theory. It is just a theory, but someone's going to prove it. But it does make logical sense if you think about it, because energy is not destroyed. Matter, our bodies go away, but the energy of our essence is regenerated, is reborn in something else. So, and of course, being a big science fiction buff, I've seen these themes carried out in countless science fiction stories, or whether it was a TV show or movie or whatever. But again, think about that, the power behind you have, and you can almost get fearful of that, because then you think, ooh, I got to stop thinking that, because this is not what I want. It's okay. You can take the time to stop it right then and understand that you can change that just like that. Have that knowing. So again, let's talk about spiritual practice, because this is really important, and setting the tone and raising our vibrational energy and coming into alignment so that we, as we move through our spiritual journey, it becomes a little more easy to decide on what path we should take. So again, through affirmations, I am that, the way. You're the way. That's very significant. The way isn't something outside of you that you're going to talk. I know we use the metaphor of hiking down a trail, and you think of the trail as the way, but the way is really within you. Practice your meditation. Focus on those feelings of love and joy and beauty, and visualize the path ahead with those in tow. Do this as a daily practice. It will reinforce your connection with your authentic self. So when the book comes out, these inspirational messages and guidance will be, have a spiritual practice at the end of each message, which is, so one, you could do one each day, or one every couple days or whatever. But again, you have affirmations, meditations, journaling. These things are all part of the spiritual practice to help you along and guide you on your spiritual journey. So let's take a moment to reflect on purpose in serving the greater good. How are you utilizing your gifts and talents to serve the greater good of your fellow human beings? Think about that for a moment. Ask yourself, are you just living a task-oriented life, going from paycheck to paycheck? Do you live in a goal-oriented fashion? Or are you totally embracing a life that has purpose, one that has meaning, and is following the way? And let's understand one thing. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. Whether you are a school math teacher in 6th grade, or some scientist hunting for a cure for some disease. In the cosmic scheme of things, they are one and the same in terms of touching the lives of others and affecting consciousness. Because again, we're all connected. The important thing to remember is that we are all connected. And we all enter this life with our own set of unique gifts and talents. But how we use them is really key. So reflect on that. What are the gifts and talents that you have innately within you? That's part of the reason why you're here. And, I started as a scientist before I moved in this spiritual path that kind of presented itself. But I've never been afraid to explore and to learn more and to do that. So I didn't allow my fear to prevent me from taking those journeys. And it's enriched my life because of that. Now, I used to keep my my professional scientific path separate from my spiritual path. I didn't talk about the two together. But clearly that's not the case anymore. It's why I'm doing this podcast and why I've been writing for years. Because it's all connected. So I have this talent in terms as a scientist in my field to develop incredible products that brought healing to people in many ways. And so my mission was, to bring healing into the world through these gifts and talents, because I have a gift of seeing how things, the pieces of the puzzle come together to develop something that's going to benefit someone's health. But it's so much more than that. So what does it mean for me anyway? My mission really is much more than that. It's about bringing healing to the world in all forms, through words, through deeds, through things that I do. So it's so much more than that. Presenting these inspirational messages and writing all this stuff down and sharing it with all of you is part of my mission to do that. Sharing my experiences, and hopefully it resonates with you in some way. It will for some it won't. That's okay. It doesn't matter, because like I said, it doesn't matter. This is whatever it is for you. Reflect upon that in terms of what your gifts and talents are and what you're going to do to grow them within yourself, embody them into your everyday life, and have a purpose-driven life instead of just going randomly through it day to day. So I want to invite you to embrace your authentic path. The next time you're at a crossroads in your life, remember you have a choice. It's up to you to choose the path for the life you want to live and the experiences you want to have. Resurrect yourself and embrace the high road to a greater expression of what is innately within you and is constantly wanting to be expressed, your true, authentic self. This is your call to action. This is what you want to resurrect within yourself, your true, authentic self. Make that connection with this higher being that exists within you already. It's waiting for you to align those gifts and talents you have with it to carry with you on your spiritual journey. So that's all the time we have today. I thank you for joining me. Let's close with a blessing of closing our eyes for a moment and taking in what we've learned today, what we've heard, what resonated with us, what we wrote down, and how we're going to take that forward into our life through our spiritual journey. How we're going to make those choices aligned with our authentic self. Continue to visit your spiritual practice. Continue walking with this path of love and joy and peace. Do the things that embody that will bring that energy into your space as much as possible. Thank you again for joining. Again, visit my website at williamdavidclark.com for more information. And I'll see you on the journey. With love and gratitude, I'm Dr. Bell.